Hey, I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase to Eat. It's also take 3. Back to the grind. Happens sometimes after a trip. All right, people, we're going to do a really cool review today. Before I do, real quick recap on my weekend. Went and saw my daughter graduate. My daughter graduated pre-med, magna cum laude, and with honors. One of only 2 students in the whole program. So that's pretty impressive. I'm super proud of my daughter, so well done, sweetheart. Very proud of you. Before I left, I did a review from a sauce from Paulman. Now, it's based on, here's the deal. You'll learn in just a second. Here's Don't Pair the Primo and Don't Pair the Reaper. This came first. They decided to do one with kind of, you know the deal, Reaper, Primo. That's what they decided to do. So before I left, I did the Primo, and today we're going to do the Reaper. And like I said, I'm going to talk a little bit about my trip. I got some cool stuff to kind of share with you, but let me read this to you first. Paulman Don't Pair the Reaper. Now, it was first brewed in 2015. Don't Pair the Reaper threads the needle between heat and flavor as it pairs the super hot Carolina Reaper pepper with fresh Danhu pepper Reaper. Is that 4? Is that 4? No. Pairs it with Danhu pears and raspberries. Marbles in my mouth. That's why there was 3 already. I'm not going to make a 4th. Okay, how many mistakes this video has, this is going to be it. Sorry, Paulman. Use it to jack up the heat in soups, stews, guacamole, or eat it directly if that's your thing. It's almost like they wrote that for me, isn't it? I mean, isn't it? Anyhow. Be warned, this sauce is quite hot. It has been known to light up the non-chili heads in the crowd. Please use responsibly. And the non-chili head, just so you know, that was in quotes. Air quotes. Actually, not air quotes. This is air quotes. They were in actual quotes. Here are the ingredients, all right? We have a chili blend of Carolina Reaper, 7-pot, habanero Fresno. Those are the peppers. It's got vinegar, Danhu pears, raspberries, bell peppers, shallots, lemon, water, garlic, agave nectar, coconut oil, spices, and arrowroot. Now, it is a little different. Like, there's no arrowroot, it looks like, in the Primo one. There's no arrowroot. Other than that, it looks like it's just about the same. Now, there's coconut oil in there's coconut oil in this one, the Reaper, and there is not coconut oil in the Primo. Sort of interesting. But let's get to it. So it was a turbulent flight on the way out. One of the more turbulent flights I've had in a really long time. Here's the kicker. Are you ready for this? It was a really bumpy ride home as well. It was kind of weird. I've flown a lot, so I really don't get too tense about flying. But it makes for a fun video. You know, when the plane's rocking around, you make a fun video. The garlic is really neat. I'm going to shake it one more time. Came home to a package from Harvest 912. Anytime you come home and there's a package, it's good. But when you come home and there's a package from Harvest 912, it's very good. All right, so here's the pour, all right, of Paulman. Don't Pair the Reaper. Now, there it is. All right, so here you go, people. We did the Don't Pair the Primo a week ago or so, and now it's time for Don't Pair the Reaper. I am Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase to Eat. The garlic, I'm going to do a side-by-side. You had to know that was going to happen, right? It seems to me the garlic is more... Seems like there's way more garlic in the Reaper than the Primo one. Now, as far as the flavor is lovely. I don't know if it's the exact same flavor profile. We're going to find out in just a minute. But the garlic is very pronounced. raspberries in the back. The fruitiness that you get from the pears and the raspberries is a background, kind of a fruitiness in the background, but it's really not in your face like the Reaper is. And the garlic. Shallots is in the background. The heat on it, again, it's going to be very interesting to do this side by side because without, like, it's going to be hard for me to say, this is hotter than the Reaper or the Primo or whatever. I need to kind of do them side by side, so I'll do that in just a minute. But let's talk about the heat on it. The flavor is lovely. It is. The heat on it, if you're not a chili head, you wouldn't pick up a lot of the flavors and things I'm telling you about because you'd be kind of just dealing with the pain of it all. But if you're a non-chili head, it'd be very hot. You have to go so sparingly and really be careful with it, but not really be careful. You sort of have to be careful with it. It's a hot sauce. Chili head is going to be... It's probably going to be a 7 and up. There'll be chili heads that call it a 6. And maybe even a 5. Probably a 6. 6 and up. But most are going to call it a 7. Let me do the... I'm going to do the Primo right now. I want to do a side by side. So it'll be... I want to do it based on memory. All right. Let's do an aroma as well to really get a side by side of the whole thing. I'm picking up the fruitiness. If you had them side by side and you were to smell them, this smell, I'm picking up the raspberries and the pears are more dominant in the Primo. It is. There's a little bit more fruitiness aroma from this than the Reaper one. Let's do the taste now. We just tasted the Primo or the Reaper, and it's gonna be like a 6 and up. Here's the Primo again to do a side by side. Okay, interesting. I wouldn't have really been able to notice the differences had I done them, if I didn't do this one today, if I just was doing it based off memory from when I did this days ago. I think this is more fruitier. The Primo version is a little bit more fruity than the Reaper version is. And I think it's a touch hotter. I do. My battery on my battery. You see the light just changed? It's the battery. I apologize for that. If I can plug that thing in. I could if I had it plugged. I do, it's right there. Hang on a second. I wonder if this will work. Let's see. Let's give this a shot, people. See how this is gonna work. That's what I'm talking about. All right, back to the review, and boy, is that bright. I think the Primo is a touch hotter. I think it's a touch fruitier. And here's the deal. I kind of like hot, and the fruitiness is great. So if I had to choose, I'd pick this one over this one. They're both good, though. All right, same maker. But the truth is, and this is important to say, I wouldn't have really been able to tell that much of a difference if I didn't do them side by side. Based on memory, I would have said it's very similar to the Primo version. But side by side, the garlic, actually I would have remembered that the garlic's more pronounced to the Reaper because it was really pronounced, bits of garlic. So that stood out. Apart from that, that was the only thing that I probably would have said was different if I hadn't done it side by side. So the side by side was very important. Big shout out to Michael Marks. Yesterday I was in the airport and met a nice guy, and I was in the San Antonio airport. I'm a fairly friendly guy, so if you walk up and I'm sitting there and you say, how are you? You traveling on business or for pleasure? We're going to have a conversation. I'm that guy. So we started talking, and he's just a very nice dude and lives where I was headed, ultimately where I am now. And something odd happened that had never happened on a flight before or after a flight. First of all, it was bumpier coming home than it was going there. It was a very bumpy ride. Actually, maybe not bumpier, but it was very bumpy. But what happened was, at the end of the trip, picked up my bag. Very, very odd. He's walking down, I'm walking down. We talked for about an hour. We were really early for the flight. Not so much that we were really early, it was delayed 2 or 3 times. So we had a chance to talk for about an hour. He's a very, very nice dude. He's an artist, he's a sculptor. At any rate, we got off the plane and he was only a few rows ahead of me. So I saw him getting on the plane as we were getting off, and I saw him, and ironically enough, when the bag came around, his bag was right next to mine. So that's my bag. He goes, wow, it's my bag right behind it. So he says to me, do you need a ride home? You're not going to get an Uber, are you? I was like, I was gonna. He's like, man, I'll give you a ride home. I said, you sure? I told him where I lived, you know. Anyway, this guy gave me a ride home. He was just a very, very nice person. We had a really nice conversation on the way home, and it was interesting. It was sort of like the therapist thing. Here's a dude I don't really know so well, so I was like, hey, here's what's going on. So we had a very interesting conversation. I'm sure he was like, wow, that was interesting. Anyway, if you, I'm going to put he makes jewelry, and he makes some very, very cool jewelry. So I'm going to put some stuff, his stuff in the description box. So please check it out. He's a good guy. Now, I want to show you this. When I got home, I had a package from Harvest 912. Anytime you come home and there's a package at your door, it's a good day, you know? But this was a package from Harvest 912. And in this package, there was some really cool stuff. Number one is some toffee that is just incredible. I'm a big fan. But here's a new one. And I believe this is going to be a challenge. This just is so cool. You know, here's the thing. We're in the glory, like the golden age of being a chili head. It's just the explosion that's happened in our lifetime. Not just in the last 10 years. Forget lifetime. The last 10 years, the explosion on the chili world has been unbelievable. So anytime, but what happens? You realize, well, I'm going to make a spicy whatever, and then everybody does it. Then I'm going to do everybody does chips or whatever. So when somebody comes out with a new idea, I'm like, wow, it's fresh, right? It's kind of cool, right? So they reached out to me and said, we got something cool coming to you. What does that look like to you? Almost look like a crispy cheese crisp, right? Oh, but you would be wrong. Looks like that though, yeah? This is pineapple. You can see the pineapple, yeah? Crispy pineapple with 7-pot Primo on it and spices. Do you know how cool that is? Let me tell you the truth of what happened this morning. I wasn't married to doing this video. I had a couple different things I was going to do, and I reached out to Tad and Kit. I said, listen, I haven't eaten anything because it's early and I'm writing. Do you think that would cramp me up? And they said, might want to prep for that one. So that's exciting, huh? So, new product from Blazing Foods. You'll see that probably tomorrow. But today's video is really, really good. I would urge both of you to do this. There's been, listen, if you're brand new to the chili community, and I mean like brand new, then you're not going to know the Reaper 7-pot Primo saga. If you've been around the chili world for a while, then you know the saga, because there's a saga. So, that makes this really neat. It's the first time I've seen a company do this. I thought that made this very cool. So it doesn't matter which side of the fence you fall on, Reaper, Primo, it doesn't make any difference. These are both very, very good sauces. I like the Primo more because it's fruitier to me, and I think it's a little bit hotter. But taking nothing away from the Reaper is very, very tasty. But I think I prefer the Primo. Anyway, so thanks again, Michael, for the ride home. You're a good dude. I appreciate that. You guys are great. I don't know what you're doing today, but do it with gusto. Tell somebody you love them. Be the difference in somebody's day today. I'm going to try to do that. In the description box, you're going to see a link for Paulman Acre. Great guy. I've met him on several occasions. Great company. Love the sauce company. So please check him out. Tell him I sent you. Right here, you're going to see that's my son, Johnny Scoville Jr. He's a really good kid. Please check him out. Right there, it's the lifeboat. And I haven't talked about the lifeboat in quite a while. If you or somebody you know has an addiction or a habit or a behavior that you're trying to put in the rearview mirror, or if you're just trying to live your best life, please check out the lifeboat. It's amazing. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. I've been talking about it for a while. It's the 14th. We're literally halfway through the month. Are you journaling? I gave a challenge to everybody to journal every day this month. I journal every day. But journaling is amazing. Everybody I know that's successful, it doesn't matter what realm, what space they're successful in, people I know at the top of their game all journal. So journal. It's going to help you. I promise you. And the challenge I gave everybody, I don't know, if anybody's doing this, please in the comments say, I've taken you up on your challenge and let me know how it's going so far, because you're halfway through the month. It's a good time to check in and say, all right, is this a good thing? So if anybody took me up at the beginning of the month on the challenge of journaling every day, please in the comment section let me know how we're doing, because we are literally halfway there. If you haven't, it's not too late. Pick up some paper and a pen. I don't mean type, but put pen to paper or pencil and journal. Oh, it's powerful. So if you haven't done it yet, don't worry about it. We still have half the month. Start now. Okay? Please do that. Right there, all the challenges I've done. No, right there is, challenges I've done since I started this channel. Right here is Pepperology. I love you guys. And man, I mean that. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.